So start by getting comfortable on your mat. Find a comfortable seated position and maybe get yourself a cushion to sit on. Relaxing shoulders away from the ears, sitting tall. Tune into your breath. And let's start today by closing our eyes for the first few moments. Noticing our breath. And then think about what brings you to your mat and to Pilates. And also take a moment to think about how you want to feel at the end of class, at the end of this session. And while you reflect on those, we'll take a couple more big breaths. And start to open your eyes again. Fingertips down, roll the shoulders up and back. 2 more times. And just with fingertips down on your mat, gently turning your head to one side and through center over to the other side. 1 more each way. Head to center, and then turn your palms forward, sitting tall. We're going to lift the arms slightly off the mat out to the side. Bringing arms a little further forward, and then bringing the arms back. Keeping that tall spine as we move the arms forward and back. And as the arms come back, think about being wide across the collarbones, expanding the chest, activating upper back muscles. Pause halfway between forward and back. Bring your arms a little bit higher, maybe up to shoulder height or just below shoulder height. And again, we'll go forward and back. Activating the lower abdominal muscles by pulling the belly button slightly towards the spine. Tall spine, crown of the head to the ceiling. 1 more time each way, and then let your fingertips come down. Roll the shoulders 1 time. Extend your legs out in front of you, give them a shake. And then come back to your comfortable seated position. We'll do a little more focus at the start of class today on the upper back, shoulders, and arms. So once again, we're going to bring our arms out to the sides at about shoulder height. Palms are facing forward. Shoulders, if they have hiked up, just relax them down away from the ears. And this time we'll lift our arms a little bit higher, and then we'll bring them down a little bit lower. And so just lift and lower those arms. And you're breathing. And then come to halfway, about shoulder height, and little pulses here. Pulse those arms out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let the fingertips come down. Have a breath. Lifting arms back up to shoulder height. Bend your elbows. Cactus arms. Inhale to reach arms to the ceiling. Exhale, bend your elbows. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, back to those cactus arms, and keep going like this. Follow your breath. Notice what's happening on your upper back, your shoulder blades or scapula. As you pull your elbows down, the scapula are moving down the back, moving together. So we have this activation of upper back. Let's do 1 more here. Pause. Keep your arms in this position. And then we're going to bring forearms together in front and out to the side. Inhale and exhale. Expanding across the chest, Scapula pulling together as we pull our arms out to the side. 2 more. Nice. Let your fingertips come down. Roll the shoulders 1 time. Let's go back out to arms at a T. And this time when we bend our elbows, we're going to bring them in toward the side of our waist. So go ahead, bend those elbows, bring them down towards the side of your waist, and then expand out to the side. Inhale, exhale. Getting into the mid-back muscles here. Couple more. Arms out to the side. Bring your arms down, roll the shoulders. Nice work. If you're sitting on a cushion, we'll move that off to the side, and we're going to make our way to hands and knees. So we've got our wrists under our shoulders, knees under hips. You're going to have a neutral spine, and head is in line with your spine. So just check in that you're not letting your head drop forward, or you're not extending at your neck. You're just keeping that head in line with your spine. Fingers are spread. Have a couple breaths, getting yourself set here. We're going to do a flow. We're going to do a modified push-up in hands and knees, keeping elbows close to our sides. And after each push-up, we're going to lift one arm out to the side. So here we go. Bending elbows, elbows staying close to the body as the chest lowers, and then push away. Right arm coming out to the side, up to shoulder height. Bring that hand back down in another push-up. Lower the chest, push away, left arm out to the side, and back down. Keep going like this, alternating our modified push-up, arm out to the side, hand down. Keep going. Let's do one more to each side. A little bit more attention to the arms and upper body. Nice work. Both hands down on the mat. We have a little activation of the lower abdominal muscles, core activation by focusing on a scoop, pulling the lower abs in and up, navel to spine, and then we're going to lift our right leg out behind us. So once you've lifted your leg up, it's about hip height, and just check in. You may have lifted that right hip, and so bring it back down. You want your hips squared to the mat. Foot is flexed, toes pointing down. From here, we're going to bring opposite fingertips, left fingertips forward, and you can stay here with your fingertips on the mat, or if you're feeling pretty balanced, then just lift that arm. Start by feeling that activation of the back muscles, and then we're slowly going to bring elbow and knee towards each other under the body. They don't have to touch. And at the same time, we're rounding the back, letting our head drop. And then extend the arm and leg, coming back to that neutral spine. Elbow toward the knee, under the body, and then extend. Nice and slow, controlled. We do all our exercises with control. Inhale and extension, exhale to pull in. 2 more like this. Finish in extension, and bring your hand down and bring your knee down. And before we go to the other side, any moves that you'd like to do, you might want to roll out your wrists, shake out the arms, sway your hips. Always tuning into your own body before you listen to my instruction. Left leg out behind you, hips squared, toes pointing down. Right arm either on your fingertips, and if you choose to stay on your fingertips, you can just be doing the knee in and out as another option. Or you're lifting your right arm, pausing here in extension, and then here we go, bringing elbow toward the knee, under the body, rounding the back, and extend. And keep going. Letting the head come forward as we round. And then lifting the head back in line with the spine as we extend. Inhale and exhale. One more each way. Pause in your extension. Hand down and knee down. And again, you could sway your hips, roll out your wrists. And then let's go ahead and take a child's pose and have a stretch. So let your hips fall back towards your heels. Arms can reach forward, or you could stack your hands under your forehead. Let your head come down toward the mat. Have a couple breaths. When you're ready, lifting back up. So I'll just do a quick demo of our next exercise. We're going to be coming into a plank, and then we're going to be lifting one leg at a time. So options, you can come into full plank. Hips are low, our body's all in one line like a plank of wood. Or once you come here, you can always choose knees down. If you're choosing knees down, my hips are not lifted. My hips are in between my shoulders and my knees. From there, we are going to be sliding our toes along the mat and then lifting one leg, bringing the toe down, and then other side. All right, so now that we've done the demo, let's all do that together. So we've got core engaged, fingers spread wide, stepping back to the plank of your choice, either knees lifted or knees down. Slide your toes on the mat, lift that leg. Toes come back down, other side. Sweep the toes, lift the leg. Keep going, alternating sides, and you're breathing. We're just doing one more each side. You got this. Woo. Shaky shake, and then knees can come down. Swing your feet forward on the mat. So we're coming to this boat position. I've got knees bent, feet flat on the mat, and my legs are parallel with each other. Starting here with my hands under my knees. And I'm tuning into that scoop of my belly, lifting the chest, and then I'm just leaning my upper body back slightly, keeping a neutral spine. Shoulders back. From here, I am going to come up onto my toes. So pointed at the ankles, up on my toes, belly scooped. Keeping my hands under my knees, extend one leg, toes come down, extend the other leg. And keep going, just alternating sides or extending one leg at a time, lifting the toes off the mat. I'm aiming to keep my upper body stable. Lower abdominal muscles engaged. Next time both toes are down, let's pause. And then option, you can either keep your hands under your knees or reach those fingertips forward. If the fingertips are forward, I'm still keeping my chest lifted, shoulders back. And then here we go again, extending one leg at a time. I'm always breathing, full breaths. And let's do one more to each side. Nice work. And then feet down, come forward, have a breath. Keeping my legs in this position, I'm going to lower myself onto my forearms. So I still have that scoop in my belly, chest lifted. From here, I'm going to lift my feet. I'm going to bring heels together, toes apart. Pulling my heels towards my chest, my knees come a little bit wider apart, and then I'm going to extend my legs away from me as my legs zip together, and then pull those heels in towards the chest, knees apart, extend, legs together. I'm keeping my feet in this Pilates feet position with heels together, toes apart the whole time, with some flexion at the ankle, so my feet are active in this. As we pull in and extend, and let's do two more. Nice work. And then feet can come down to the mat. Lift yourself up. Have a breath. We'll be making our way down onto our back. So you can extend your arms forward and using control of the abdominals, roll yourself down. Feel free to put your hands down to help control yourself on the way down onto your back. And as we land on our back, we'll just take a couple big breaths. You could put your hands on your rib cage and then notice that expansion of the rib cage with your inhale and the softening with your exhale. Have a couple more big breaths. We always want lots of fresh oxygen circulating. And just a reminder here, again, to always listen to your body before you listen to my instructions. So feel free to take a break, modify. You can do part of an exercise with head lifted and then put it down. Don't strain your neck. Arms at your side. And we're going to prepare for hundreds. So again, I am tuning into the scoop of my lower abdominals. Lift one foot and lift the other foot, keeping that core engaged. We're going to do an upper body curl up. So inhale here, and as you exhale, you're curling upper body up and over, chin to the chest. Eyes are looking down, either at your thighs or your abdominals. If you start to find your head back here looking at the ceiling, then always put your head down. This is very straining to the neck. So you want to curl up and over. You're using upper abdominal muscles to hold here. We're lifting arms, palms face down. Now you can keep your knees bent or extend your legs out away from you. Start pumping your arms. We're breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Halfway there. In, out, in, out, in, out. 2 more rounds. In, out, in, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Lower your head, pull your knees towards your chest, and either just have a stretch here, or you might want to rock side to side, having some full breaths. Back to center, feet to the mat. Couple big breaths. And next we'll be doing our single leg stretch. So our hand position is inside hand or opposite hand at the knee, outside hand reaching down towards the ankle. Starting by engaging your lower abdominal muscles. Lift one foot, lift the other foot. Inhale here, exhale as you curl upper body. Let's bring right knee in, inside hand at the knee, outside same side hand reaching down towards the ankle. Opposite leg is going to extend out strongly away from you. And then we switch sides. Switch and switch and keep going. Pulling that knee straight in towards the chest. Opposite leg moving out into extension. Nice strong legs. As you pull that knee in, your elbows can come out wide. And we're going 4 more. You got it. 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to center. Head down. Feet down to the mat. Big breath. Next we'll do 2 sets of double leg stretch. So our first set we're going to keep the head down, and then second set you'll have the option of upper body curl. Pulling my navel towards my spine slightly, lifting my feet. I'm keeping my head down this time. Palms on either side of my knees. As I inhale, I'm going to extend arms overhead, at the same time extending my legs away from me, and then circle the arms around, pull the knees in, touch your knees. Inhale, legs and arms extend. Exhale, circle around, knees come in. And keep going. Really focusing on long arms, long legs as you reach away. Really reaching through the fingertips. And then do a little pull of the knees towards the chest. Let's do one more here. Nice work. Let your feet come down. And before we go into our second set of double leg stretch, just walk your feet a little wider on your mat. So your feet are out towards the outside edges of the mat. And then we're going to windshield wiper our knees. So inhale at center. Exhale, let both knees come over to one side. And inhale through center and exhale over to the other side. And keep going like this a few times. This is a nice release for the hips. Last one here. And then come back to center. Walk your feet back to hip width apart. Second set of double leg stretch. And I'll be walking you through upper body curl up, but you can always keep your head down. Core engaged, feet are lifted, upper body curls up and over, eyes are looking down, palms on either side of the knees. Inhale, extend arms and legs. Exhale, circle those arms around, bring the knees in, touch your knees, pull them in. Inhale, extend, exhale, circle around, pull the knees in. Keep going. Checking in with your neck, and you might do the last few with head down. Let's do 3 more. 3, 2, last one here. Nice work. And bring your head down and bring your feet down, and we'll do a full body stretch, straightening both legs on the mat, arms overhead, and you can have a bit of a bend in your elbows. Be comfortable here. Take a couple big breaths. Arms back down to your sides, slide your feet in. Bring your knees to your chest, and in a moment we're going to rock back lengthwise on our spine and rock ourselves up to seated. Now you can always choose another way to come to seated. You could roll onto your side and make your way to seated as well. So I'm going to put my hands under my knees. I'm going to bring my forehead towards my knees, making myself into a little ball, and then I'm going to rock lengthwise on my spine a few times until I come all the way up to seated. Nice work. In seated, extend your legs out in front of you. Legs together. Let's come into those Pilates feet. So I've got heels together, toes apart, feet are flexed, sitting tall. Pilates row. Core engaged, chest lifted, elbows bent with palms facing down. On my next inhale, I'm going to reach forward and slightly up. And then as I exhale, I'm going to imagine I have heavy levers under my hands and I'm pushing down, belly scooped. Inhale all the way up to the ceiling. Exhale out to the sides at shoulder height. Pull those elbows in. Inhale, reach up and forward. Exhale, heavy levers. Inhale all the way to the ceiling. Exhale out to shoulder height. One more time through. Start with those elbows pulled in. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale down. All the way up. Out to the side. And pull in. Go ahead and make your way into a kneeling position. And feel free to put a little extra cushioning under the knees. All right, just starting here and kneeling, bringing the hips slightly forward, lifting the chest. Let's bring arms out to a T. Right leg out to the side. Land on the sole of your foot, toes pointing forward. Bring your right hand down onto that extended leg, left arm to the ceiling, little side bend here. I'm not worrying too much about how far you bend into this side bend, but thinking about that big expansion through the hips and the ribs. then coming back to a T, keep that right leg out to the side, tip over, land on your left hand. And that top arm, you can bring your fingertips behind your ear, elbow lifted to the ceiling. We're going to lift that extended leg up off the mat. Flexing your foot, toes pointing forward for kicks. Bring the leg forward for 2 kicks, and then point the toe and bring it back for 1. And kick forward for 2, and extend back for 1. So we're trying to keep the rest of our body as stable as possible while we're moving through that hip. Let's do one more each way. Kick, kick, extend. Nice work. Bring it back to center. Lower the leg, come back all the way up, arms to a T, and then knee down, arms down, roll your shoulder. Left leg out to the side, landing on the sole of your foot, toes pointing forward. Left hand on your extended leg. Right arm reach to the ceiling. Side bend over. Couple big breaths here. Reach to those fingertips. Coming back to your arms out to a T. Tipping over, land on your right hand. Top fingertips behind your ear, elbow lifted to the ceiling. You can always choose to stay here or go ahead and lift that leg. Foot is flexed. We're kicking forward for 2 and then bringing that pointed toe back for 1. Flex your foot forward for 2 kicks. Extend back, pointed toe for 1, and keep going. Kick, kick, extend. Kick, kick, extend. One more each way. And you're breathing. Leg back to center, bring that foot down, come back up to arms at a T, and then bring your knee down, bring your arms down. Coming back to seated. Legs extended out in front of you. We're going to be making our way back down onto our back. So reach forward over your legs. And you can just have a nice stretch here. And then using abdominal control, roll yourself all the way down onto your back. And arms could come overhead. Pause for a full body stretch. Arms at your side. Slide your feet in. All right, our next exercise is crisscross. We're going to be focusing a little more on this side of the waist or into our oblique muscles, oblique abdominals. And each time we twist, we're going to do 3 pulses. So we will be going twist for 3, 2, 1, little pulses at the side. With our belly engaged, we're going to lift the feet. Upper body curls up and over, hands behind the head, fingers interlaced. So we're just, hands are light behind our head. We're not pulling our head forward. Elbows are going to stay wide. Right knee comes in, left leg extends. We're going to twist to the right. I'm not trying to touch my elbow to my knee. I'm twisting to the right for those 3 pulses. Pulse, pulse, pulse. And then through center, switch your legs. Left knee comes in, right leg extends. Twist to the left for 3, 2, 1. Other side. Pulse. 3, 2, 1. And again. 3, 2, 1. And switch. 3, 2, 1. Again, hands are light behind the head, elbows wide. We'll go 1 more each side. Back to center, and feet can come down and head can come down. And let's do some windshield wiper knees. Bring your feet a little bit wider and let those knees sway side to side. Back to center, feet back to hip width. Arms are at your side with palms down. You might want to tuck your shoulder blades a little more under your body. We're going to prepare for bridge, so feet are close to your body. Pushing into your feet, start to lift your hips to the ceiling. Pausing at the top of your bridge, hips lifted, chest lifted. Have another full breath. Our legs are staying parallel. Slowly come down, 1 vertebrae at a time as you lower down. And then we're going to do a 1-legged bridge. So cross your right ankle over your left knee. Let that right knee fall out to the side into this figure 4 position. Pushing into the left foot, we're going to lift those hips again. Keep the hips level with each other. Pausing at the top. Have another breath. Slowly lower. We're going to do one more this side. Keep your legs as they are. And again, lifting those hips, strengthening glutes. Slowly come down. And we're going to switch sides. Bring that right foot down. Cross the left ankle over the thigh. Knee falls out to the side. Pushing into the foot. Lift your hips. Breath at the top. And slowly come down. And one more. Lifting up. And foot down. Roll over onto your side. We're going to take a modified side plank. So you're going to be on your forearm of your lower arm. My elbow is under my shoulder. And then I'm bending that bottom knee so my foot comes behind me and I'm landing on my top extended leg. Top hand on my hip and then lifting hips into this side plank. From here, we're going to lift that top leg and lower. And keep going with a light lift and lower. Just landing very lightly on those toes on the foot as it comes down. Slow and controlled. 2 more. Nice work. Stay up on your forearm and lower the hips. Extend your both legs. So we're just staying on our forearm. That top hand can come down to the mat or wherever is comfortable for you. I'm going to flex my top foot and then point my toes up to the ceiling. So I've got my heels together, toes apart, top toes pointing to the ceiling. Lift that top leg. And as I lower, I'm going to tap the heels together 2 times. Tap, tap, lift the leg, lower for 2 taps. Tap, tap, and lift, and lower. We'll do one more here. Nice work. Bring yourself all the way down. Support your head with your lower arm. So you can either have your elbow bent like mine, or you can come right down onto your lower arm. Find a comfortable position. We've got both legs extended. I'm still checking in that I have my core engaged. I'm going to hover my top leg and flex my foot. Bring that leg forward and tap my heel down on the floor in front of me. And then I'm going to lift that leg, do a bit of a semicircle in the air, start to point my toes, and then tap my toe down behind me. Semicircle in the air as I flex my foot, heel taps forward, and then other way, and toe taps back. And keep going like this with the heel tap forward, toe tap back. And as I'm doing these big moves through my hip, I'm also striving to keep my upper body as still as possible. So in Pilates, we talk about stability before mobility. So we're always stabilizing, tuning into the stabilizing muscles as well as the mobilizing muscles. And we'll go one more each way. Line the legs up. And we'll do a side stretch here, stretching into our hip flexors and quadriceps. So top leg, I'm going to bend my knee, bringing my foot behind me. So options here, I can let those toes come down to the floor. And here I'm getting a stretch. If it's available, I can reach my hand for my foot, my ankle, maybe my pant leg, wherever your hand lands. And if that connection doesn't work for you, just keep those toes down behind you, knowing everybody is different. So once you are in position, you're thinking about lowering that top leg, top knee towards the bottom leg. And then if your head's still up on, propped up, you can bring your head right down on that bottom arm. Now once we get into our stretches, we just want to focus on some deep breaths. So if you are in a stretch position and you find you can't relax or take those deep breaths, that is an indication just to back off a little bit. Another variation for this stretch is if you had a strap or a towel, you could put it around your ankle and hold onto a strap or a towel. Let's take one more big breath. And release and come over to your other side. We're going to start back up on that plank. So you're on your forearm, elbow under shoulder. Bottom knee bent, bring your foot behind you, a little kickstand. Hand on your hip, lifting hips. And then we're going to do the lift and lower of that top leg. Just tapping down lightly. Checking in that you're breathing. 2 more. Nice work. Stay up on your forearm, lower your hips. Extend both legs. And then top hand can come down to the mat. We're flexing the top foot, pointing the toes up to the ceiling. Lift that top leg, and as you lower, 2 taps, heels together. Lift the leg, lower for 2 taps. One more. Nice work. And then support your head, lower down. All right, hover your top leg, foot is flexed. We're doing heel taps forward, toe taps back. So bringing that leg forward, tap your heel down, little semicircle in the air as you point your toes, toes tap behind you, and keep going. Stabilizing the upper body. One more each way. Nice work. And then line the legs up, have a breath. Coming into that stretch, bending the top knee, reaching for your foot or ankle, or bringing the toes down to the floor. And the 2 sides can be different from each other too, so you always want to check in on how this side is feeling. We can bring the head right down onto that lower arm, bringing the top shoulder back. Full breaths, using your exhales to relax into the position. When you're ready, release your stretch and go ahead and roll onto your belly. Let's bring our forehead down to the mat. You can untuck your toes. Arms are going to be out to a side with bent elbows, so that cactus arm position. Palms down, elbows bent. And then keeping your head on the mat, lift both arms. Thinking about squeezing your scapula towards your spine, and then lower your arms. And lift and lower. Keep going like this. Imagine you have a coin between your shoulder blades, between your scapula, and you're squeezing together to hold that in place. One more here. Lower the arms, extend your arms overhead. Lift your head just slightly off the mat. Eyes are down on the mat so that the back of the neck is long. I'm going to lift opposite arm and leg, pause, think about extension, reaching through your fingertips, and then lower. Other side, opposite arm and leg, lift, pause, extending, and lower. And keep going like this, lifting opposite arm and leg with that little pause, reaching through the fingertips, working the back of the body. And we'll do one more each side. Nice work. Slide your hands under your shoulders and go ahead and push yourself up to hands and knees. So just arriving back to hands and knees. Starting to slow your breath down. We're going to go into our cool down portion of our workout. Right leg is going to extend out behind you. This time we're landing on toes. So landing on those right toes, and then pushing through your hands, through your body, extending the right heel out behind you. Feeling that nice stretch into your calf and your heel and the bottom of your foot. Slowing our breath down, nice full breaths. Keeping that right leg extended, toes down. We're going to slide the right toes over to the left. So cross midline, slide the toes all the way over to the left. They may come right off the mat. And then you could look over your left shoulder toward those toes. Nice big expansion through the right side of the body. Keeping legs crossed, I'm going to bring that right knee down toward the mat for a modified child's pose with cross leg position. Coming down onto forearms. You can either have your hands on the mat or clasp your hands, and then just let your head droop forward. Moving your hips back, big stretch through the hips, nice stretch through the lower back. Full breaths. And when you're ready, coming back up, back to hands and knees, uncross your legs, back up onto your hands. Left leg out behind you, land on your toes. Push that heel away. Start with this calf stretch. When you're ready, slide those toes across midline, over to the right, land on the outside of the mat, looking over right shoulder toward your toes. Keep the legs crossed as you lower that knee, cross-legged position. Hips fall back, come down on your forearms. Let your head drop forward. Send your breath to your back. And when you're ready, coming all the way back up to hands and knees, uncross your legs. And let's take one more child's pose here. This time we'll have toes touching and then knees a little bit wider apart. Let your hips fall back towards your heels. Reach your arms forward, let your belly fall between your thighs. Again, you could always stack hands under your forehead or reach arms forward or reach arms back. Your choice. Find a comfortable position where you can take full breaths. And then lifting up, we're going to find a comfortable seat. So if you want, find your cushion to sit on. And you can sit in any position that you prefer, cross-legged or legs out in front or kneeling. So we're going to sit nice and tall, the crown of the head to the ceiling. And again, we're going to, like we started class, we're going to finish this session by closing our eyes. Taking a moment to tune into our breath. Noticing how those full breaths feel in your body. And then reflecting back on how you wanted to feel at the end of this class. And also taking a moment to possibly set an intention for the rest of your day. Maybe something you want to do for yourself. Maybe an intention to reach out to somebody who could just use a kind word today. And have one more full breath. And opening your eyes. Fingertips down. We'll finish with 3 big breaths. Inhale your arms to the ceiling. Exhale, arms down. And again, inhale, reach up. Exhale, down. Last big breath. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a wonderful day.